Hi everyone, it's Adrian Leah. I'm going to do 2 readings today. I was going to do my channeled message last night because I wanted to share more experiences on my travels. I did go to a specific place, and the grandparents' spirits were helping me with some things. So before I get started with this reading, I did see what, because the words that are coming to me when I come across this spirit is a Holy Spirit. And it was from a previous reading where I held my palms up and I directed the healing energy to the people and the fields and the land. And when I did that, it's like my palms were smoking, and I look at my palms and I look out, because the vision that I was getting was a group of people, and then they had their circle, and it had that light in that area, but then surrounded was a lot of bleak and dark and energy surrounding them. So when I look up from my palms, I see this spirit that moved methodically in a way. It took its time, and it's the surrounding energy of the people, like it was being purified, and the spirit came back to me. It came back twice because I was working one time and I saw it just pass by me, and then yesterday it approached me again, and it's definitely feels otherworldly because it doesn't come to me or appear to me in a way that human spirits come to me. And what was interesting about it is the voice was a voice of a child. Is a voice of a child. So the spirit was like, you called, and asking if I needed help with anything, and I asked, can you protect those on the field and of that land, and to sanctify the fields? And the spirit said, absolutely. And then it went off on its merry way, or on her merry way. And then, because I see the golden land, and then when the spirit was there were like almost orbs of white light that emitted the places that the spirit went to. I feel like there's definitely more of a mental clarity or feeling more at ease, because the other image that I was getting was like the card in tarot is the Hanged Man, and not in a literal sense of it is in a literal sense on the card, but it's almost getting that clarity that you need, and the force to go at a slower pace or to stop, to really evaluate what's going on. I actually feel like some have sensed or have seen this yesterday. So that was one of the channel or like experiences. And then I'll go into more detail about the other thing that I did. So with this reading, I also brought out the Angel Tarot too because I thought it would be nice for those who want to know more about these cards, and then it might put you more at ease since there's more of a Christian base that have been coming to the channels, so welcome to those who have been watching. Still being myself, trying to put it at a holistic approach that can be good on both ends, I suppose, or well on both ends. So at the top, there are some repeating cards with the 5 of water. The 6 of water comes a little further into the reading, so that is slower progress. But again, this awakening card is the Hanged Man card, and then the 13, the release card, is the Death card in this deck. There are certain, I feel like, small aspects. Again, we're talking about the minor arcana when we're looking at the 5 of water. And since I was saying 6 of water, I feel like those are still linked together. They were like in the last 2 videos that it came up to. Where I'm not saying the small details don't matter, but when we see the Death card with the 5 of Cups, it feels like that type of grieving stage is going into something that we haven't done before, because with the Hanged Man, we're seeing things and we look back. It's almost like we do things where we go in relationships, and sometimes when we're in the situation ourselves, we don't really notice as many of the red flags, and when we do notice the red flags, sometimes we just wave them up in the air thinking that, like, I've done this before, I'll get through this. But in reality, it's a type of thing that people are thinking, that's so sad that you're going through that. Do you want to keep doing that to yourself? There's this song that was coming up because I was listening to some music during my car rides, since they tend to be long. An older song, like Face Down, and that talks about, or by Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, that talks about like abuse in a relationship, and then towards the end it's like she's finally had enough, and it doesn't have to be like gender specific, where you just keep getting pushed around, and then it builds up, because sometimes it keeps going when it doesn't need to be. It's like kind of, sometimes in those moments it's not the easiest to get away from, and sometimes, like in that song, it's like it's tolerated too. They also have a song guardian angel, and this is random, but I've also been listening to Mud Shovel by Stained, Staind. So with 13 and 12, it's heavy energy on like the emotional aspect of it, of how it makes you feel and react to things. You can react with your heart too, because at this point we are really looking into the depths of the situation, which I'm getting from like Scorpio energy with the Death card. Because at this point it's just such a heavy process to work at, but at this point, if you don't do it now, it's at this point it feels like you kind of have to do it now, and it's been lingering for a while. With the Two of Air, there's also the Page of Earth. I'm also going to link that to the Queen of Cups too, and the Eight of Cups, because I feel like finances have been weighing down on being able to make certain decisions and do things, because in order to maybe take a test, in order for you to move out of an area or get assistance in other ways, or like types of funding that could be helpful. It could be like state funding coming from a specific resource or resources. It comes a long way because every little bit helps. And at these times, it's also good to be innovative too. When we have a certain amount of money, when we don't have a certain amount of money, what can we do to make sure that there's at least something that can be worked on and that can be accomplished? With the Queen of Cups, relating to coral, also symbolic of wealth, I do feel like there is going to be some type of assistance in that regard. With the Six of Cups or Six of Water, you have memories from your history or childhood, issues regarding children, romanticizing the past. I feel like it sticks out with children too, because I do have some dreams, and then some dreams. There was this one dream the other day that I was going to mention in the channeled reading, but there's a lot to mention in that channeled message, because it's kind of a journey. But with that, there was one dream specifically where families, and specifically a parent, came up, because there was a parent that came up to me, and what stood out was that she was pushing a stroller, but the stroller didn't have a child in it, or a baby in it. So it was like the child was away, and even if the child's away, it's not like they're still your child. So that could also be linking to the funding that has to do with children, and also children that are away that are fighting too. Another repeat again with the Hanged Man card, and it's covered up a little, but behind it is the Hermit card, which in that case it's not that surprising, because the Hermit, I wouldn't say it's secretive, but it's very inward. And with the Eight of Cups too, it feels like that's that process. And in some places, it's like that process where you didn't feel like that was possible. Where maybe it was being reliant on certain things in certain relationships, and now when you're forced or when you need to approach these ways of life that you have at the moment, there's a sense of solitude in needing to be able to stand on your own two feet, because I'm pretty sure this is like a saying, or like something of a saying, that at the end of the day, it's going to be you that is going to, be with you in the saddest times and of the happiest times, to comfort yourself when it feels like there's a lot of stressful things happening. When you're angry or upset about something, it's you that processes it. It's your body that tries to heal itself and release these types of feelings. I feel like in a healthy and methodical way, because it kind of reminds me of like more holistic medicine and more modern medicine. Modern medicine, especially like the prescription medications, are a lot harsher because they offer such a immediate release, or immediate, I said release, it could be relief and treatment, compared to holistic medicine. When you use herbal medicine, it's more of a preventative, at least that's what they teach us, and as I said, it's more of a preventative than treating the ailment itself. So it's something that you take over time, and then you'll see the results slowly, but I feel like it's more lasting, and in that way it's effective, and it's not as harsh on your body. So like if you have natural foods too, you tend to eat less because of not all those fillers. You don't have all those fillers. I know a lot of American food is banned in other countries because of all the preservatives and unhealthy ingredients that you have in there, and then you look at the ingredients, you're like, wow, I'm actually eating this stuff. That can cause a lot of diseases, but if you try to be healthy in all aspects of life, it makes a difference. You can also get a lot of mental clarity with that too, and I feel like that's that pause that you get with the Hanged Man. And that note of the Hanged Man, it's not something to be afraid of. It can be a little bit of a lengthy approach though, because if we're doing things the way that we've been doing for so long, it's getting out of that routine that maybe wasn't meant to be a routine in your life, but it turned into familiarity. And just to go on that healthy streak, I know that, cottage cheese is pretty common there. I just wanted to say, I don't know if like this is super common there, because in America there's a lot of like alternative ingredients or substitutions, like milk substitutions with oat milk and almond milk, and I feel like and soy. There's lots of others. With cottage cheese, it tends to be a really bloating cheese with the lactose. If you can, I feel like there's specific solid plant-based or milk substituted products that I really like, and then others that I'm like, it's not to my taste, but there's some that taste really close, if not the same as the actual thing that you're trying to get. It's without the lactose. So there's a cottage cheese that's lactose free, and maybe that'll alleviate some of those discrepancies when you're eating it. So we have the 9 of water, the 9 of cups. Sometimes it does that when I try to focus it. Not very tech savvy. So I'll group that with the Empress card. And this is giving yourself and that land more TLC, or tender love and care. I feel like the land is yourself with the Empress card. And it kind of feels like a treat yourself type of moment if you're coming in again with more finances. It'll definitely most likely make the situation more comfortable, and with that it's like the Judgment card too that comes out in the end. And for you to come out with the Judgment card, it is one where you've come a really long way to get to that point. So it's basically like you've made it. It kind of feels like that was the finish line again. The Judgment card is next to the World card, and you always go through the Fool's journey because the Fool has the numerical value of 0. Still with the Three of Wands, a little bit of patience that comes there, but it does say fortune and favor, and it's next to the Wheel of Fortune, so I do feel like it's heavy on the finances and protection, because with the Seven of Cups, that has been one that has been coming up a lot. You have the Seven of Wands, and with this one it kind of feels like who's next, and it links to the Judgment card because you're fighting so hard to just live and to get to that point where you need to, and the last reading is if it's worth the prize, it's worth the fight. The armor, I'm thinking like in the front where it kind of reminds me of like a snake. It also reminds me of like the plates of armor that Native Americans would have made out of bone beads. So then it's in the beginning, it's the Eight of Wands, obstacles, the Ten of Pentacles with the Two of Swords. Two of Swords is a repeat because you have Two of Air, also the Two of Swords. Trusting the process with that. And because you're being blindfolded, but it kind of feels like you're being fed or you're being told certain things, and it's up to you whether or not you're going to approach it with open arms or you're just gonna lay it to the wayside and just say, this isn't for me. Same thing with, anything else in life. If it works for you, it works for you. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. It just means that maybe the way that you do things, the way that you live, the way that you may listen to directions or color outside the lines, it has a tendency of having different effects on different people. I am getting a heavy emphasis again on sanctifying the land with that Holy Spirit energy. And that's what the Eight of Wands feels like. And the obstacle is the Ten of Pentacles with the family. Kind of feels like a little bit of twists and turns with the Ten of Pentacles in the obstacle position. With the Hounds there too. Because the Hounds, in this reading, it feels like they're maybe a different species or a different type of person that is in that same vicinity in that regard. Another repeat is the Six of Cups. You have, again, the Six of Cups with the Six of Water at the top. It is another approach to it. Can be a daydreaming card too. With that Magician, heavy dreaming, and how are we going to make it work? And it is going to be pretty heavy. It kind of reminds me of like the visa journey of moving, because it's definitely a slow process, especially with the money that gets poured into it. So just trying to do things when you can is helpful, and it adds up. The final cards, and my palms are getting itchy, so I do feel like there is money coming in. This popped out when I was shuffling. It's the Ten of Air, because I was finished shuffling or I was finished pulling out cards and I shuffled a little more because I wanted to be extra shuffled. The end of a difficult situation, embrace the change and expect things to get better, recovering from addiction. I asked about the response of this reading, and I got the 9 of Wands, 9 of Fire. Don't give up, protect that which you've created, have courage, and believe in yourself. Definitely a protecting type of card. And with a 10, it comes to the end of that cycle, so of the minor arcana. So everyday things can be a little bit easier for this time being, or in the future when you get your assistance. What I got yesterday is the crystal clear intentions. Archangel Michael, be clear about what you desire and focus upon it with unwavering faith. And then for this reading, I got Beloved One, Archangel Chamuel. I'm helping you with your spiritual soulmate relationship. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video.